This is Sunmin.
And this is Grace.
And we are
On the DL.
So this is a show where we're going to be talking about topics that aren't really talked about at church. And we're going to be bringing them into a more open light within a biblical worldview.
Right. Okay, well, we have some people next to us. Who are they? So these are my good friends, Angela Kwok and Isaiah Kennard.
Hello.
Can you guys introduce the viewers who you are?
Well, Isaiah Kennard, a student here, not here, but a student at Southwestern, and in my master's program. So I think Angela's another person who's in the graduate program.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
y'all are like, lower classmen, we're upperclassmen.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
That's how it's gonna be. Okay.
So,
We can do that,
yeah.
2 to 2.
Bring it on, man.
And it's just been great. I've known Grace for like 2 years now.
Where did we meet?
We met in the catering team.
Yes, we did.
And you were the greatest worker.
You hear that?
Always showed up on time.
What?
Always had a good attitude. Now class.
Yes, there you go. I was waiting for
So we're really gonna bring this up,
I don't-
okay?
That, hey, grace is given. So that's all that matters.
Hey, we all come with our flaws.
Yeah.
So,
We're all sinners,
Yes.
on that note,
Anyways, I'm Angela. I'm also at Southwestern in the master's program. Originally from Seattle, Washington. So came all the way to Texas just to learn more about God and make new friends like
Wow.
these people here. Yeah.
all right, well, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about our topic today. It's gonna be on Christian biblical dating.
Oh.
And more specifically on the one. So we'll be back right after music.
And so this is Blessings by Lecrae featuring Ty Dolla $ign. We'll be right back.
If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings.
Count it up, count it up, count it up. Line 'em up, line 'em up, line 'em up. Swear the sun shining on me, get my heart up, no matter that trouble surrounding us. They don't see that it's a lot of us. Everybody move anonymous. Won't take that credit, I know what we get it. Them blessings be coming from God above. I was doing all kind of bad, what a quiet. Tell him I need a verse. Hit the pew and tell God he is first. Hit the studio, the body of verse. I remember pushing mama little white Hyundai with no gas money. I just bought a car, cash money. I ain't even trying to brag on it. I just tell it how it really is. I ain't tripping, they ain't feeling this. I ain't saying I deserve nothing, I'm just trying to talk about the benefits. I've been punching in the clock, trying to keep the kitchen stocked. Man, it's a blessing cause we ain't never had a lot. But all we need is all we got. Whew.
If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Blessings. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. I put my mama in the grips and stop stressing. I put my girl in a brand new diamond necklace. She said she need more of my love and affection. Cause lately I've been working harder than ever. She said, baby, you a boss. Baby, clear your schedule. Dollar, you a boss. Let's do something special. Take me on the PJ when she go to Mexico. I've been down for you, boy, since when the money was low. Anything for my back, cause she a blessing. If you woke up this morning, it's a blessing. If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Blessings.
안녕하세요. 주님을 만난 보석 같은 사람들의 이야기로 여러분들과 함께 만나게 될 주얼리의 박수연입니다. 주얼리는 주님 앞에 귀한 보배로 쓰임받기를 소망하는 여러분들의 이야기로 꾸며집니다. 하나님을 만나 변화된 나만의 삶의 고백과 간증들 혹시 가지고 계신가요? 감사와 기쁨으로 주님과 동행하며 그리스도의 향기를 전하는 분들도 혹시 알고 계신가요? 함께 기도하고 싶은 제목들과 함께 바라보고 싶은 비전들 혹시 나누어 주실 수 있을까요? 주얼리는 이와 같은 여러분의 소중한 사연들을 모아 복음을 마음껏 전할 수 있는 통로가 되길 원합니다. 매주 수요일 저녁 7시 소셜 코리아에서 여러분들의 이야기를 들려주세요.
All right, we are back. And so for this first part, we are going to be talking about dating. So I wanted to start off with some personal experiences that we might have had. So just some background information about our lives is that Isaiah is a married man. Sorry, ladies, he's a married man. Summer and I are in a dating relationship, and then Angela is living that good single life.
Free life. The free life.
Good single life.
So I think it's just really interesting how we're kind of in different places. And so we're going to have different unique perspectives on this topic. So Isaiah, why don't you start us off, being the more experienced out of the bunch?
Man.
What are your experiences?
Experience is an interesting word. I have been married for 2 years in June of this year.
Wait, you got to tell the viewers how you met her.
Oh, I met her in children's church. We're both 6 years old. And had to say that, make sure people know that I wasn't a creep or anything.
They were both the same age.
Both
They were
the same
both
age.
in children's school.
Both in children's church. Her
Yeah.
parents were my children's church pastors.
Oh.
So we met. I was in the friend zone for about 90% of our relationship, knowing each other. And we started dating when we were both like 20. I think that's right. Yeah, 20 years old, and dated for 2 years, got married, and we've been married for almost 2 years this June.
How old are you now, Isaiah?
I am turning 24
Wow.
in 8 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna have to do something next week then.
I don't think
As
so.
a celebration.
Or maybe not after that class joke that you made in the introduction. I'm just kidding.
Was it a joke? was it
Get
really a
him
joke?
out of here. All right, so Isaiah, what were some of your struggles finding the one?
Ooh,
What did that
finding-
look like for you?
What did that look like?
Yeah.
It looked like a lot of failure. And there was a lot of times where I didn't think I was going to find somebody. It felt like it was like, man, I'm like 19. I should be married already, which is so weird to say out loud because you're so
19.
young.
You're 19.
Yeah, it's like you're
Yeah.
19 years old.
Very
but
young.
when you are 19, you think like, oh, I'm going to be alone forever. Like you really think those thoughts. And I just kept asking God, like, hey, is this person gonna be my wife? And then he would be like, nah. And I'd be like, all right, well, I guess this is over. Because, I don't really like dating just to date. I kind of like the dating with the intention of marriage.
Yeah.
And so when the Lord was like, yeah, I think this is gonna be your wife, and I was dating Lauren, I was so happy. I was excited that this is gonna be it. And so, yeah, just a lot of failure and just making sure that I was like, hey, I'm interested, and then make sure to pray about it before I go too far though. So yeah.
All right. Well, maybe she can come visit us next week, and she can, be
Maybe.
a special
Ooh.
guest.
I don't know if she would like that or not, but we'll see.
We'll persuade her. All right. What about you, Simon?
So, we're currently dating,
Surprise!
and
Is that a surprise?
To some, maybe.
so we've been dating for a little over a year now. Started dating back in January last year. Last year, right? Yeah, 2019. Yeah, 2019.
Be
January.
careful what you say.
Oh yeah.
You best be sure when we started dating.
Yeah, last
January
year.
4th.
January 4th last year, and I first met Grace at a student fellowship, a Korean student fellowship.
Yeah.
And once I saw her, I kind of knew like I'd really like to get to know her. So after that, I tried to get into group settings so that I can kind of get to know her. And so after that, it's been just me kind of keep on trying to get to know her more. And luckily, she was also interested. So it kind of worked out pretty well.
That always helps.
Yeah, it really does. I really think it's up to the woman to make that decision. Like the guy
I agree.
pursues, but it's really the woman that makes that final decision. And I think, I don't know, I'm not married yet, but then from what I hear, that's what you kind of have to do in marriage as well, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Sort of
She makes all the
happy
decisions.
wife, happy life.
Exactly.
it.
Words to live by.
Words to live by. Man.
Yeah, so I mean, I said yes to Sunmin. Before Sunmin, I had never dated before. I don't know, I think just like even when I was in high school, I didn't want to date without that intention of marriage. And I just had a lot of people around me like date in high school and then, you know, have to break up when they go off to like different schools for like college. And I was like, you know, it would be better if I, you know, focused on studies right now and then when I went to college actually look for, you know, a serious relationship. And so Sunmin came around, I think, my third year of being a student here at Southwestern. He was very, very intentional, pursued me like crazy. Some of these stories.
But not crazy enough that.
Like creeper crazy.
Yeah. I didn't want to scare her away.
Right, but I was really surprised because he told me later that I used to swim in the mornings at like 7 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know this, but someone would tell me that he would get up in the morning knowing that I would go to like our school like swimming pool in the mornings and he would just wait like in the parking lot.
Okay. No, wait. I didn't wait in the parking lot. Okay, this sounding pretty like weird, but so I would go earlier, like an hour earlier. So
Okay.
let's say like she went swimming at like 7, right? Then I would go around maybe 6 a.m. or so, and I would do my own workout, and then there's like this waiting lounge, like the lobby in the sports area thing, the facility, and I would wait there after I'm done with my workout just to see her come in, and so I can say hi. You know, when she's coming in, I would leave. Yeah.
So no parking lot.
No parking lot. I wasn't. I didn't
okay.
have binoculars. You know, like looking out for like where's Grace? No.
Okay, I had the story wrong all this time then.
Yeah, I made sure that it was very low key and like, you know, oh, hey, nice to see you. Oh, didn't know that, you know, you were coming here.
At 7 a.m.
At 7 a.m. exactly, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I really, really, really admire how Sunmin pursued me. It was actually the first time anybody had really just from the beginning like told me his intentions about wanting to date me. Before it's always been kind of like hitting around the bush or like I don't know where he's trying to, like what he's trying to do, what are his motives. But it was the first time anyone has been like so clear from the beginning, hey, I want to date you, but I want to date you with the intention of marriage.
Same for me though. I mean,
So-
before like I've had previous experience, but I've never wanted to take it anywhere. I just dated just for the sake of dating, because she seems nice, she's pretty, and then just date. But I've never really wanted that relationship to really go anywhere. Like I didn't see it going anywhere, so I just kind of left it there and then. But yeah, same. Like Grace was the first relationship that I really wanted for this relationship to achieve something. Yeah. Right, Angela?
All right, Angela.
Now to my story.
To that good single life. Tell us all about it.
Yes, the free life is how I like to put it. Basically, growing up, there were guys that liked me, and there was pretty serious pursuits, but there was always something where I didn't want to, or it wasn't the right timing, or there's something about the guy that I didn't like. And each time that happened, it was in a pretty significant part of my life. And so one example that I always like to share is actually in high school. There was this guy that I really liked for years, and he never liked me back. Like he was just moved from California, had that like tan, the golden tan, whatever. But eventually he started liking me, and then he started pursuing me. And I liked him, and I really wanted to, but then around that time was also where my friend group started really pursuing God, where we all just started reading the Bible every day and really understanding what it meant to be in relationship with God. And it was crazy now that I look back. It was a choice between dating this guy who was kind of Christian but kind of not, and really pursuing God. And for me, it was a lot more worth it to pursue God. And now I'm so happy that I did, because that was more worth, right, than maybe a thing in high school. Because a lot of high school relationships don't really last, especially because you're constantly changing.
Yeah.
And so even to this day, I think that's been true, is really my eyes have been on God and just the things that he's like leading me to and pursuing in my heart. And I think I've been really enjoying that. And I haven't been looking elsewhere or wanting a relationship per se. And even still, I'm not in that place to really date just yet, but really taking time to study God's word and be a good student of wherever God takes me. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's great.
Beautiful.
But I think even though Angela's not looking for someone right now, our viewers might be, wondering, like, what does like seeking for the one look like? Like, what should we look for in a biblical, dating relationship? What do you guys think?
Well, all I know is that if I ever met you back in high school, you would not have liked me. Like what I did now and like what I did back then. Like, you guys are a lot more mature than what I was in high school. So I know like whatever I would have done to impress you would have come off in such a bad way. Like, finding the one would have been so different then, and then I guess now, yeah.
So now that your your thoughts and perspective has been changed, what would you advise other like young students or like young adults to be looking for in a future spouse?
Ooh, in a future spouse. Well, I can really only say what I really looked for in you, Grace, is that I guess first and foremost, like, does she chase after God? With her truest intentions. Like, what are her motives behind everything? Like, is she doing it to look good, to impress someone, or is it really just trying to follow God's way, like follow the way, the mandates that God has put out? And that's easy to say, but I think here's the thing. I think if you're doing that, it's really easy to see someone else doing that.
That's good.
Yeah, if you're already pursuing God, then you'll see the other people that are trying to do that, and you'll already know, like, oh, she the real one, oh, she not so real, I don't know about her. Oh, she's cheap and fake. No, you don't judge people like that, but
Like you just did.
No, but really, like, I think if you're doing it, you'll know.
Yeah.
That's good.
What about you?
Me? I mean, I think you really need to look for somebody who's ready to run the marathon with you, not a sprint. Like, it's
there for the long run.
The long run.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like hard though in our culture, because we just like want to date somebody, and like after 2 months we're like, all right, this is the one, let's do this thing. And maybe we should just kind of like give some more time to just see how people's character is developing. With Christian people, we like to get married younger, and I think that can be also sometimes a problem, because like we're not fully like know who we are yet, and I think that marriage is a good thing to kind of show you who you are and kind of show you like what do you need to work on. But I do think that it needs, to me, what I'm looking for is somebody who's willing to wait and willing to take the time and willing to be like, okay, let's kind of talk more. Let's work these things out. Let's just see where you're at. Let's see where I'm at. I want to get married, and I normally put that up front. I put that up front to one. Like, I want to get married, and I want to get married to you. But don't think that this is like all right, I'm trying to get married to you right here tomorrow. Like, I want to learn about you. I want to grow as friends first before we even think about that.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people can take that in the wrong way. If you like bring up marriage from the beginning, they're like, whoa, kind of too soon. But it's a different thing. Trying to actually get married like right away, and then actually just kind of showing your intentions for it.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think something to look for is whether or not that person makes you better. So what that means is, if you're gonna get married to them and really live life, run the marathon together, is that person gonna really help you in your relationship with God, like Sunmin was saying? But another thing is, what I look for is how do they respond to hard situations. I think hard circumstances and trials
good.
really bring out who someone is, because
really
I think
good.
it's really easy to, you know, act great or put up that church-like face, but when you go through a trial, that's when you really, it shows, right, your true relationship with God or your true character.
Your true integrity.
Oh yeah, so I think that's something that's definitely something to look for in someone, is how they deal with it, how they respond.
Yeah.
Not that it has to be perfect, but that it can be like mature or like something that pushes them to run to God or community. So yeah, I think
good.
that's good.
Yeah, I think if I were to add just one more thing, it would be to make sure you guys have that same like vision for God. Like you guys might not have to know like every detail of like your future, but to know that you guys are wanting the same thing, you know, whether that's like church ministry or like something else, I think that, but then also not be too comfortable with like the picture you have in your head.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, you know, it can always change.
Right.
But I think when you become married, to know that you yourself and your spouse is willing to sacrifice like their wants and what they initially thought like the vision was going to be, for whatever God calls them to be. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like that obedient heart for the Lord, and that willingness to just drop everything, like drop their wants in order to get that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good.
So on the flip side, sorry, this is like we're running out of time
we're good.
here.
No, we're good. We're good. We can keep going.
But one last thing. So on the flip side, what are some things that we shouldn't look for? Like, what are some red flags or
Deal
deal
breakers.
breakers? What do you guys think?
There's so many.
Maybe just like one. Maybe just like one each. One like
Yeah, let's do one
major thing.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I don't want to take the easy one, but they gotta be a Christian. Like, it's like,
Darn it, Isaiah!
like you gotta love God. You gotta love the Lord.
for
Like
sure,
that is
yeah.
that some people, and I know that like some people say they don't do this, but like evangelistic dating is like a big deal. Like even in church today, it's still a big deal.
The flirt to convert
Yes.
method.
it is.
Wait, what is that?
The
Flirt to convert. Never heard that?
What?
That is a
I've never
thing.
heard that.
Yeah.
Flirt to convert. That's a big deal, especially in like American style church. It really is a big deal, and I don't think you can build a solid relationship if both of them do not love Jesus.
Do you kind of think that sprouts from like almost pride? Like thinking that you have the ability to change
Yeah.
someone? Because, I mean, that's the work of the Holy
point.
Spirit, not
That's a good point.
a girlfriend or a husband. You know, it's the work of the Holy Spirit.
Well, we do that with everything else. Like we totally think that we can like, I know this is not like a social media talk, but like we think that we can like argue somebody into having a good moral standing or whatever. Like if somebody has a different view than them, like you're like, well, let me just tell you everything. Let me just try to convince you. Like,
Yeah.
we don't really rely on the Holy Spirit to do that. Like why would we rely on the Holy Spirit to change someone that we're romantically and like invested in? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a dangerous place to be, like thinking that you can fix someone.
Yeah.
For me, I think my biggest deal breaker would be, you know what? I think I'm gonna need a couple seconds.
Okay. I'm ready. I have one in
Yeah, go
mind.
ahead.
So something that I think is a deal breaker is pride. So something you mentioned was pride, but more specifically, whether or not they're teachable. Because no one's ever going to be perfect and no one's ever going to have it all. And so what is their teachability like? Are they willing to learn? Are they willing to make mistakes and say, I need help from a mentor? Or like be willing to be corrected? Because a lot of times people live their own lives in their own families and culture. They're so set in their ways that when they're in a relationship, you will, you know, I'm sure you guys know, face conflict. And is that conflict going to really grow you and teach you, or is it going to break you and like harden you?
Wow.
And so I think that's something that's a deal breaker, is if they're not willing to be taught.
Well, I think we're gonna have to cut it here. I think it's already been a few minutes over time.
That's fine, yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna listen to Gotta Live by Tadashi featuring Jordan Feliz. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Even when my light burns low, I could never lose my hope. I've been down this road before. Now I know which way to go. You can try to drag me down, but I'll be living in the clouds. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live. You just gotta live. You just gotta live.
Yeah. I want it like I need to breathe. Yeah. Make it clear like I need to see. Woo. As a kid, mama told me sky's the limit till you hit it. Like King Griffey to the fences. Out of there, out the park, hit and run. That's my drive. That's my drive. It's a vibe, been that way all my life. Yeah, I shut it down when I shine with the truth. Yeah, I ride with the crew. Gave my life to the truth. Testify. Walking water like the son of man. Understand? I'll never drown. Take a hit and never quit. Might be down but never out. There are days that I fail, and the train's off the rail. Through the pain we prevail. Tell them you just gotta live.
Even when my light burns low, I could never lose my hope. I've been down this road before. Now I know which way to go. You can try to drag me down, but I'll be living in the clouds. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live. You just gotta live. You just gotta live. Even when my light burns low, I could never lose my hope. Just gotta live. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live.
Living till there's nothing left. Lean on. We need you like there's no one else. Ain't nobody out here more like you. And with you that broke the mold, and ain't no more like you. That's for sure. I can't drop out like the top down on the coupe. Tell them watch out when I walk, I make them move. Sunday morning with my hands up, like they got the handcuffs. Searching for some answers since mama passed cancer. And my sister left Seattle with a one-way ticket home. Hope she hold the chase and teaching him to speak some more. Gotta keep it going. Yeah, that's all it told me. Tell him you can make it when you know the one and only.
Burning right beyond the fire. You were born to win, yeah, you're a fighter. Don't let your light just fade away. You just gotta live.
You just gotta live. You just gotta live.
You just gotta live.
You just gotta live.
I just wanna live.
He wants you to live.
You just gotta live. Even when my light burns low, I could never lose my hope. Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live.
안녕하세요. 여러분의 꽃집 아가씨 우혜린입니다. 어떤 음악 좋아하세요? 무슨 얘기 나눌까요? 같이 노래 들으면서 도란도란 얘기 나누고 싶어요. 제 친구가 되어주세요. 매일을 살아가는 우리들의 작은 행복이 싹트는 이 시간, 사랑스러운 당신께 바칩니다. 우리들의 이야기가 꽃피는 우혜린의 노래 한 송이. 매주 화요일 저녁 7시에 만나요.
All right, we are back, and we're gonna take a quick break from our conversation, and we're gonna kind of read the comments that we're getting here. Thank you guys so much for the comments, by the way. We have a few, and I'm recognizing like some of the names here. First up, we have Stella. She's actually working in the studio right now, and she says the parking lot is romantic too, though.
Is it though? Is it? Like,
I think it's romantic.
okay, Angela. Imagine like a single guy like, waiting in the parking lot after your class ends and just be like, "Hey, you're Angela, right? Do you need to ride home with me?" I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know about
that's creepy.
Oh my God.
But I guess it could be.
I mean, Stella thought it was romantic, and I do too. So I'm with Stella. What kind of comments do you see, Simon? I'm so blind.
Someone named Jennifer says, "Oh, dating is dedication." Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
Next comment.
And then my friend Nee, hi Nee. She says, "Hi, Grace and Angela."
Hello.
Oh, Nia is one of our good friends. She used to be a student here at Southwestern before she moved back after graduating. So I miss you, Nia. Come back. Who else?
There's Somang. Yeah, she sent like a little emoticon with hearts.
Ooh, thank you, Somang
Thank
언니.
you for watching in.
Okay. Sorry, I'm so blind. I can't see.
I got it.
Yeah.
So this is something that we kind of have to work with a lot. Is that whenever we go to eat somewhere,
To a restaurant.
I just read her the menu.
Yeah, I'm like, I
right
can't
away.
see. What are they
I don't even ask her,
need
what do you want?
I have glasses.
Oh, okay.
They're just, unfashionable, so.
I see.
All right, so let's see. Oh wow, she just made it bigger for us. Okay, so
good.
Jennifer said, God-based relationship is so mature. Yeah, I mean, it does require a lot of
Maturity,
yeah.
to pursue
It
like
helps.
a God-based relationship. Yeah.
We have a viewer named Oliella. Hi, Oliella. She said this is an interesting program.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
we'll
thank
try to
you.
make it as interesting as possible.
I think it's pretty
Right.
interesting. And then below that, we see 박성원 목사님.
Oh, that's your youth pastor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he's the youth pastor at my church, and he says, very important theme, meaningful talks, and great MCs and guests. I bless you and support this broadcasting.
Thank you.
Oh, so that's a good word of encouragement from 박성원 목사님. Thank you.
And then there's user Haun Choi. Greeting from Pascal?
Pascal. Okay, Pascal's a high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pascal's a high school.
cool.
Hey, what's up?
Watching some buzz. Wow.
Ooh, Isaac. Oh, Isaac. He's one of my youth kids. He says greeting. Oh, not youth kids. He used to be my youth kid. He's in college now. But hey, Isaac. He says greetings from TCU. What's up, Isaac?
Okay.
All right. Well,
So yeah,
that's
thank you everyone that's viewing right now and
Yeah.
leaving comments. I mean, we're on YouTube right now, and it's also on Facebook, so you can log in and search for On the DL through Social Korea, and you can leave us a like, comment, subscribe. I mean, y'all know what to do. So, all right.
all right. So we're gonna just continue part
Yeah,
2
let's get right
of
into
this
it.
talk.
Yeah, go for it.
So I guess like the first question that I have for this segment is, we're so curious, is there such thing as the one?
Oh.
Is there? Yes or no?
How about we do this? All of us will answer at the same time on 3.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Yes. I heard a no somewhere.
Yeah, no.
No.
You see yes?
Oh, did I say yes?
Do we need a
Wait, can we do the 1, 2, 3 again?
Okay,
Sorry,
okay,
I wasn't
okay.
paying
All right.
attention.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
No.
Well,
Okay, there you
I'm
go.
still saying yes. There was a yes.
Okay.
That's me.
Well, then why don't you go ahead? Why don't you talk first about why you do think that there is
I mean,
the one?
I know I'm the minority here, but
You are.
I really think there is such a thing as like God's sovereignty and like I said earlier, like what do you look for in the one is when you're asking or when you're seeking like what you are looking for, like you already kind of know. So what I mean by that is, so I've been praying I guess to find the one sort of. Like I've been praying before I met Grace for a long time because Grace is like she's like the first relationship after a while. Like I've been like on a dating hiatus for like a couple years, and I've been praying that I find someone that I want to take like the next relationship thing with, like to marriage. And I was praying for all these things, and when I realized that once I was praying for that, I realized that God just really provided and like He answered my prayers. Like so, I already knew what I was looking for through my prayers, and then when I met Grace and got to know her, I realized that maybe this is what I've been praying for, like what I've been looking for. And so I kind of think that there's a little bit of not destiny, but a little bit of God's provision kind of sprinkled in there a little bit.
Okay. Well,
She doesn't seem
I say
impressed.
not.
Oh, man.
But like we've had this conversation before, so someone already like knew about how I think about this. But I think for me, to say that there is the one, I think can be dangerous. Because when you're going, so like you think you found the one and you start dating her. And then because you think she's the one, I think it's so much easier to start acting as if you guys are already like a married couple. Like making compromises maybe, or like stepping too far, like, you know, just out of, like, I think when you date, you should date knowing that this person might not be the one. So I always tell someone like, hey, I'm gonna date you with like my hands open. So I'm not gonna like hold on to you so tightly as if you're already mine, because you might not be. Yeah, so that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind when I think about reasons. What do you guys think?
I mean, you're married,
No,
so I
Angela,
feel like
yeah, I
you're.
think you should go first, and I'll wrap it up. 'Cause I'm married. I think I have a good perspective on this.
So I don't think there's such thing as the one, just because if one person in history married the wrong one, then everyone marries the wrong one. Does that make sense? So I think from our perspective, right, we might think that person's the one. And I know a lot of Korean dramas like kind of portrays like destiny and fate. So I don't know,
Not
maybe
just dramas, but like Disney movies.
Right,
and, like,
right.
just most romantic movies. these
Right,
days.
just this idea of that one special person
Yeah.
you were always made for.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so. But what I do believe is maybe from God's perspective, He knows the one for you because He is all-knowing.
Right.
And he sees everything from a higher perspective. So in that way, He knows who we'll end up with, but that doesn't necessarily mean God like handpicked someone and forced you guys to marry and somehow meet. But it's really more so your decision, your commitment to stick to that person, to love them like Christ loved, and to really serve as He serves.
Now hold up, because Summit and I literally had this conversation, I think yesterday or today. And I said the same thing Angela said about how there's like, we still have that choice, but God still knows what our choice is gonna be. So I said, you know, I think there's a difference between like God knowing something and
Or
Him
knowledge.
deciding something for us.
Is this going to be a discussion about God's
Wait, no. we can't
Are we
go.
taking
There's
that
not,
there
Yeah, this
real
is for
quick?
There's not
another
enough time.
day.
There's not enough time for this.
Another topic, another day.
Yes.
So-
Perhaps.
Man,
We can't chase this rabbit.
Okay.
It's gone down a whole.
Okay, we'll let the rabbit
that'd be
go.
a long hole to go down.
We can talk about this later.
Yeah. Personally,
yes.
yeah.
A personal thing.
Yeah, but go ahead, Isaiah.
Okay, from a married man's perspective, are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Go for it.
I said no, right?
Yes.
But
Give us that gold nugget.
she is the one, because on June 8, 2018, she became the one.
Right.
That's what she did. She became the one. So before then, I would obviously no, because kind of like what you said, Angela, if one person marries the other person who wasn't the one, and then they have a baby that wasn't a baby that was supposed to exist, and then they have a baby and that person wasn't supposed to exist, so the whole world is full of people that, you know, hey,
supposed to
this is totally wrong earth. God, throw it out. This is terrible because one person didn't find the one.
So it doesn't logically make sense.
So logically, it doesn't make any sense. And then emotionally, you could feel like, well, if I never find the one, I know some people who say like, I'm waiting for the one. So they don't even really
Put
feel like
effort.
put effort into doing anything. Like they're just like, the one will just come knocking on my door one day.
Magically.
I don't need to go be a part of community. I don't need to meet people. I don't need to know people. I don't need to have friends.
sitting in the room
I can sit
waiting.
at home, watch Netflix, and chill at home by myself. So, and then they'll just come knocking on my door. I think some people can take that perspective when they think of the one. Now, I do believe that God is all-knowing. I do believe that, and so He knew exactly what He was doing when I was born to my specific set of parents, and He knew that with my life that I was going to meet someone that was going to have to, gel with my personality. Now, Lauren happens to do that, and she became my one on June 8th. Now, if something happened where Lauren moved away to Alaska and I met somebody else who God had said, all right, you could gel with this person, then that would have to be the one. I'm happy that it's Lauren. I don't want it to be anybody else other than her, but I think that logically, I think God works in reason still. So yeah, I just don't think I can say that there is just one.
So they become the one when you get married to them.
Yeah,
That's basically
because
what you're saying.
biblically, you're supposed to be one man, one wife. So yeah, she is the one, literally.
All right, so let me follow up with that real quick. Oliela says, that's so my friend. Say something for my lady friend. I think she's referring to the person that's waiting
Oh, that doesn't put effort in?
until someone comes knocking. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, now you
Tell
know.
them to watch and maybe.
Any advice? Any advice?
Oh, Yellow, be a better friend. Don't say this on YouTube. People can see these comments.
Well, she didn't say who her friend was.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
well, just, tell her to come to
Or
church.
send her the link to this, and then she can watch
Yeah.
us talk about
Okay,
this.
let me-
you know
let me-
what I'm
With
saying?
another person, right? Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay, Oyella, tell your friend this from Isaiah to you, to your friend. Say, all right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to put on something nice, and we're going to go hang out with young people. Okay? We're
Not
just
too young.
Not too young.
Not 6
Not
years old.
too young. Young adult, if you're a young adult, go hang out with your age group and just say, hey, we're just going to have some friends. It's okay to have some friends. It's the first step.
Good
Have
advice from Pastor Isaiah.
friends. Not a pastor yet, but okay.
Will be.
Some at one point.
All right, so, well then how do we know if someone is worth even pursuing? If you don't know right away in a dating relationship that someone is the one, but you still, have that intention, just like you and, Summon had that intention. How do we know that someone is like worth pursuing?
That's
How do you know
Because
someone's worth
guys are the ones who pursue, right? So I guess this is more so
Yeah.
for
this
y'all.
is more to art.
Yeah, this is really
Oh,
for us.
I think I can go first if you're still waiting. For me, I think you have to know that person as a friend. I think a lot of times in movies, we get this idea of you're going to a party, you bump into this random guy that you've never met, and y'all fall in love. I don't know if that works, because I think if you know someone as a friend, okay, I'm going to want to pursue a romantic relationship with someone to be married to them. I knew I knew Lauren's personalities from knowing her for a while. I knew her parents. I knew her upbringing. I knew all of those things. So I was like, yeah, I think that this is going to be worth investing my time in. But I think what's hard is for some people when they just meet someone and they say, all right, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, you've already put labels on something. And it's kind of hard to be yeah, you're my boyfriend, but I don't really know you that well. And it's yeah, you're my girlfriend, but I'm still trying to figure out. And that can lead to heartbreak. And it's just, I don't know. It's hard. I believe in being friends first for a while before you start
One of
dating.
our viewers actually agrees with that. Jennifer says, be a friend for a long time, people.
She capitalized long time.
Long time. But then, you don't want to be a friend for too long,
I mean, he was in it for
Listen.
2 years.
No, I was in the
14
friend
years.
zone for 14
Yes.
years.
No, but you can't say that you were pursuing her off.
I pursued her all through high school. What are you
Oh,
talking
really?
about?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
well, there's a lot of passion
okay.
there.
She did not want me at all. So it was rough. It was rough in these streets.
I think we need another broadcast, just one episode on how to get out of the friend zone. I think
that'd be
That'd be
a lot,
interesting.
yeah, I think that'll have a lot of viewers too. We need answers for that.
Mostly guys.
No, but I know how Isaiah got out of the friend zone, and it's kind of shocking.
You know what? We'll say that for another.
Yeah, we will say it for
a
another
little
time.
teaser.
But just a little teaser.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
a
an
little
interesting
teaser.
story.
I'll tell you when the cameras are off. I'll tell everybody else here.
But yeah, what do you think, Simon?
So for me, how do you discern if someone is the one or not? I think realistically, you just gotta take a look around you. And what I mean by that is you gotta know what your circumstances look like. So if you're actually seeking a serious relationship, right? then whoever kind of comes in, you like you guys said, it can be the one, right? Now I still kind of am leaning more to like, God has someone ready for you, but realistically, like you don't know when that is, so you got to be prepared for that. So you got to be looking around you, because if you're surrounded by people that that aren't going to be in a serious relationship, don't be looking for someone like that there. But if you know people that are trying to take it to the next step, like the next level, then maybe you want to pursue people in that area. So just kind of know where you are, in your life too, like situations. Like if you see that your career is like your priority, or like if you see that you just don't have the time for a relationship, honestly, it's not gonna lead to marriage. Like I don't know how you're gonna do it, but it just won't work. So I think you kind of have to analyze and assess the situation in order to know like if they are the one or not. Yeah, so I just think you got to be ready with what you have around yourself.
But is that something that we can know right away? Like, is there, so like this term, love at first sight, it's so popular nowadays. It's like so romantic, and it's in movies all the time. Is that possible to fall in love at first sight?
No.
Angela, why?
No.
Yeah, why?
Well, I mean, I've heard of the term also to kind of pair the love at first sight, and more accurately, I think it's lust at first sight, right? Because when you see someone, you see their outer appearance, and whether you like it or you don't, right? And so that's really what it comes down to. And love, especially among like the Christian definition of love, is so much more than just physical attraction or a look. And like, Jennifer said, you have to be friends a long time, right? In order to know them. And as you get to know them, you begin to love them. You begin to see who they really are and kind of start to love them. But when you see them at first, like Hollywood movies, it's a very passive form of love. Yeah. You don't fall into love. You don't all of a sudden end up, in this fantasy world. Yeah. But it's a true commitment to sacrifice and to really lay oneself down and for that person. And that's true love that Jesus has shown. And so I am completely against that phrase. Love at first sight does not exist. And yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Grace?
I mean, I think if you want to like see what love is, you have to look at the cross. The perfect picture of love. And, love doesn't look, pretty sometimes. We see on the cross that Christ died for our sins. Like he was naked on the cross, bleeding, died for our sins. So I think when I was younger, I did believe that love was more of like an emotion or like a feeling, just because of what culture tries to define love as. But we need to wake up and realize that love is not an emotion. It's not something, like Angela said, that you can fall into or just happen to be in the middle of. And because it's a sacrificial sort of love, like Isaiah said, it can't happen just like that. It can't happen overnight. You have to kind of cultivate it. You have to really work at it. It's a definite like choice and decision. So like even Summon and I, to get a bit personal here, like in the beginning, it was so easy to love each other. Like to be honest, like infatuation, it just makes it so easy in the beginning to love each other. Like everything that he did, even on like the not so good things, I was like, oh, he's still so lovable, But it was infatuation. But then after, like that all fades.
Interesting.
Oh, kind of like low key, like it all faded.
It all fades.
No,
As of right now.
There is still emotion and feeling. But I'm saying that now I think we realize it more of not an emotion, but a decision. It's a choice to love each other every day.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take an interesting side, just for the sake of argument. Okay. So yeah, I don't believe that there's a thing such as love at first sight. Like biblical love at first sight is not possible. Yeah, no. But infatuation at first sight, and it kind of does help. Like it's important. Physical appearance, is not the most important quality, but it definitely still is a quality. Yeah, like honestly, Grace has appealing looks, and so that's what caught my eye at first. I'm just gonna be honest,
Wow.
I just saw her. She's like, man, she's pretty. Like, you gotta get to know her. But then once I got to know her,
I don't know how to respond to this.
you can say thank you later. But once I got to know her, she's just such a great person. I found out how God-fearing she is and how dedicated she is in her relationship with God, and and then that became like the priority that I saw. But sometimes it might be the first thing that you catch, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like if the physical attraction is there, I mean, even Paul says, the Apostle Paul says, if you can't hold it in, if you can't like bear yourself, then get married, right? But it may not be the best decision, but it is there. It is there. It's just that our culture has kind of twisted and distorted what that quality looks like. Because physical appearance is important, it's there, but that shouldn't be everything that we depend our relationship around. Because like how you said, emotions fade too. Looks are gonna fade too. And then what are you gonna do when both of you are like wrinkly, old, or like But then you see older couples, they like more experienced couples, they still say, oh, she's still lovely. Oh, I still love him. It's not because of their looks. It's because of what they do for each other. Like what we've been talking about, what Christ did for us, he sacrifices for us. Same thing how couples later on in years, they say, oh, I see all the things that he does for me. I see all the ways that she serves me and helps me out. It's those kind of things that we should really be looking at.
Yeah.
But I mean, not love at first sight, but infatuation at first sight, definitely there. Can't ignore it. You can use it, but it shouldn't be everything. Recap,
Yeah.
Good.
That's good.
Wow. Man, I think for me, it's like, I gotta kind of like agree with that about like infatuation helps, but I think the way I think about it is like, personality and beauty will like hook you in, but it's your heart for God and your heart for each other is what keeps you there. Like I've seen a lot of people who are like, man, this person is like super pretty, super beautiful. I really like their personality, but they don't stay for a while because their heart isn't in the right place. Their heart doesn't love God. Their heart doesn't love them. And I think every relationship I've ever seen that lasts like 40, 50 years, they would say that like, yeah, we were like, attracted to each other at first, but it wasn't that. They kept, becoming to a relationship every single time. It was a choice, obviously. It was the choice to love, but it was also like, I know their heart is like amazing and like trying to run after God with all their heart, and I want to help them do that. So I do think that there's a hook there.
Right.
If it's not beauty, it's personality for some people, and I think that like I'm like a big personality person. Like my wife is beautiful, let me tell you, but I do love her personality, and I think that that's really kind of what hooked us together. Was like we have a very similar personality, but we love each other's heart, and we got to experience that and know that more as we've been married.
Right.
So
you guys are saying physical attraction is important for the beginning, but what makes it even more is the personality, and the beauty of their personality makes like a fuller picture.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Is that what you guys are saying?
Because what I'm saying is like somebody who has physical beauty but like doesn't have the right heart.
Right.
I might be like, yeah, she might be pretty, but she's like doesn't have a good heart, and so I'm definitely gonna like be like, I don't know if this is the person for me.
For sure. All right, so we got a couple minutes left, and there's a couple questions here. So Zero is asking, can we still ask questions? Yes. If you have any questions,
Ask them all.
leave a comment. Just shoot us any question, and we'll try to get to them. Maybe in the next one, or when we're talking about that related topic.
And then Stella has a question. She says, didn't God allow us to have beauty? Maybe he uses it to make us fall in love. Yeah, of course,
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because God created us in His image, and God is a beautiful God. So,
But it shouldn't be the only one that we're looking for.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, and Zero asked, do science and faith conflict?
Wow.
That is a very general question, and we'll save that for another time because we're going to be talking about a similar topic soon. Maybe not
Yeah.
like next week, but then we'll definitely get to it. The science and faith conflict.
Yeah,
So
we'll try to
stay
get
tuned,
back to you,
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, thank you for your question, though.
All right, so I think that's about it. We're going to come back right after listening to Right on Time by Aaron Cole featuring Toby Mac.
It's not your fight, don't worry, it'll be alright. Don't worry, he will make your heavy light. Don't worry at all, worry at all. This love is always right on time. I've been trying to figure out my own way, trying to put it all on me. Weighed down by the pressure, without looking up, I know you see me. Cause on and on you keep blessing me, but on and on I keep worrying. Why I'm always running when you're telling me don't worry, just lay it down, it's not your fight. Don't worry, it'll be alright. Don't worry, he will make your heavy light. Don't worry at all, worry at all. Love is always right on time. Right on time. Rise up, get clean, throw 'em on like I'ma wear 'em. Ain't got the shoulders for the burdens I'm bearing. Broke down and pulling over by the wayside. Was never made for this type of way, so I throw my hands up and my load gets lighter. I throw my hands up and then burn like fire. Float up to heaven like the smoke in the air. I flip my worries in the prayer, leave 'em right there. Just lay it down, it's not your fight. Don't worry, it'll be alright. Don't worry, he will make your heavy light. Don't worry at all, worry at all. This love is always right on time. Right on time, right on time, right on time, right on time, right on time. Trying to make hope. Yeah. I know your problems seem God's size. If you can see them through God's eyes. If you can only see them through God's eyes, yeah. I know your problems seem God's size. If you can see them through God's eyes, yeah. He's right on time, right on time. Just lay it down, it's not your fight. Don't worry, it'll be alright. Your heavy light, don't worry at all. This love is always right. Don't worry at all. This love is always right on time. Right on time, right on time. Love is right on time. Right on time, right on time, right on time. Right on time, right on time, right on time. Right on time, right on time.
안녕하세요. 티타임 진행을 맡고 있는 신한나입니다. 달라스 포트워스 교계 소식은 물론 미주 그리고 한국의 따끈따끈한 뉴스를 전하는 방송입니다. 더불어 다양한 분야, 삶의 현장에서 치열하게 살아가는 한인들의 꿈과 열정이 담긴 이야기도 함께 소개하려고 해요. 한 주의 끝자락에서 차 한잔 즐기실 수 있는 선물 같은 시간. 매주 금요일 오전 10시. 네, 많은 시청 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Okay, so we are back and we are actually almost out of time. But we're just going to use this time, just a few minutes, to kind of just go over what we've been talking about. But before that, we have a few comments that have suddenly risen. You want to talk?
So,
You want to read them?
It's kind of a funny one. God versus Buddha. Who will win in a fight? And then Zero actually answers this. God wins easily.
I agree.
And Jennifer says, what does Buddha do? He just teaches people.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. But you know, our viewers, if you can, just answer. I mean, ask any question you want. But you know, it's best if it kind of pertains to our topic. That would help a lot too. Just like any question about, I guess, dating or relationships, or because we'll get to those questions like later on, like when we have different topics. But for now, stick to kind of like Christian dating.
Yeah, but thank you for your comments, nevertheless. Yeah. All right, so why don't we just for a few minutes talk about one thing that you think needs to be emphasized more in this day and age? Like what we talked about today regarding dating, what do you think is just really important for our viewers to know, the younger generation to know? What would that be? Isaiah's always looking at Angela.
I know,
Angela's
like-
always looking back at Isaiah. It's like a mental ping pong game here.
Oh,
What is one takeaway from today?
I guess just like, I think it just takes time. Like, I feel like that's not really emphasized a lot of like, in the Christian world, it's like dating takes time, knowing yourself takes time, which I think is like step one, is like you need to know what you want to look like first before you go out looking for somebody else. So it just takes a lot of time. And I like encourage, like Grace kind of knows this about me, that I kind of like, I'm on the fence about dating before 18. I know that might seem super legalistic, but it's like,
Yeah, we had to talk.
no, I think you just change so much like
Yeah.
before 18, and that like when you hit 18, you're kind of already like, all right, get my legs about me, like kind of who I am. So I think if I had to give any advice, one thing, wait until you're 18. before
Wait.
you-
Okay. Oh, why don't we have like one word? Because my word would be choice. It's a choice to love. It's a decision to love. It's not a feeling or emotion or something that you can like accidentally fall into, but it's a real choice that you make.
I don't know if I have one word.
Yeah, one word's kind of hard.
One word, but I think the biggest thing that I would want to emphasize is relationship with God first.
Yep.
I think that's something that we kind of touched on, but so many people are like in such a hurry to date, or they really want a boyfriend, girlfriend, especially around Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I remember looking through my Instagram, seeing everyone's Valentine's posts. But just really finding joy and delight and satisfaction and intimacy with Christ, I think is such a lost thing within the Christian world, and something that I find is so fulfilling. And I guess why I'm still single, and you can do it when you're dating and married, but I think, yeah, there is strategy and wisdom in fully being satisfied in Christ first, and how that in turn will give a greater dating life or married life in return. And yeah, Christ first.
So 2 words.
Yes, 2 words.
I guess mine is kind of off of Isaiah and Angela's a little bit. I would say like one word is vision. And what I mean by that is,
Yeah.
if you're going along, if you're really doing what God wants you to be doing, if you're really seeking His vision first, and doing all the things to get there, I think it's kind of like with what I believe in as like the one. I think God will naturally provide you with what you need in order to achieve that. And whether that may be a spouse, or, He could also have you set up for the single life, like just like the Apostle Paul, and that's still a blessing, But whatever it is, I think if you're really seeking God's vision, His kingdom first in it, then God will provide with what you need in order to achieve that.
Yeah, that's really good.
All right. Well, it's been great having you guys,
It
and
has.
yeah, it's really fun, talking about these things. And so, thank you, Isaiah. Thank you, Angela.
Of course, thank you for having us.
It's fun.
Will this be the last time?
Oh, no.
So we are going to be talking about this topic of dating for a month.
Oh.
So
Oh.
4 weeks.
Even better.
All right, got more
More
time.
Y'all are up, and we're going to be doing this for 4 episodes. So this is only the first. So we have 3 more to go. So come back.
Yeah. Tune in Wednesdays, 3 p.m. So
Yeah.
We're going to be live on YouTube and Facebook.
Yep.
So make sure to
Hit subscribe.
turn on notifications
Hit that
so
like
that you know when we're going live. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. And thank you for your comments and your interactions. We'll try better to kind of look at and answer that. Let's just look at that real quick. So if you had to choose to stay home with your significant other because that person's sick, would you skip church? No. Would you skip church? No. That's just flat out no for me.
Man, this is very
Wait, but I don't think we have enough time today to talk about this. But very good question, Zero. I mean, he's been pretty frequent with the questions today. So thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m.
All right, so we're gonna be fading out with "Love Won't Let Me Down" by Hillsong Young.
Bye.
Right when I need you, you listen as I pray. You leave the 99 for me. You paint the sky with promises of your grace.